difficulties there. What happened is very simple. The internet went out here in Palm Springs, California. Those things occasionally happen, and it's the beauty of having remote studios these days is sometimes the entire internet can just go kablooey, and that's kind of what happened to us. So glad to say we are back. So hi, Vlad.
Yeah.
Great. Isn't it great when there's just no internet? Internet just went boom. Can't make it up. Now I can wipe the sweat off my forehead while I just sat here and stared at a router waiting for it to come back online. Let me give you let me give you a thought on what's going on with this Aaron Judge thing. Kevin Ioli's coming up in a few minutes. I only got about 4 minutes left in this segment because we were shortchanged because of the outage out here. There's a lot of conversation about whether or not Aaron Judge is going to remain a New York Yankee or not. And understandably so. He turned down a $213 million 7-year deal in the offseason and decided to bet on himself. He wanted more money. Yankees offered to make him the highest paid Yankee in the history of the organization. And he decided, I'll bet on myself. And it's been a good bet. I mean, he's got a chance to become the all-time single-season leader for home runs in the American League. He's got 57 now. And I think the odds are that he'll get to 61 or 62 as it may be. But Ken Rosenthal, according to the New York Post, discussed that Judge was presented with the extension, turned it away, and now there's a thought that the Yankees and Judge just simply don't have any trust in each other. That the organization doesn't trust that he's going to stay, that they think he's going to leave. Now, look, maybe they're leaking this out to try to make him look like the bad guy. Maybe they're leaking this out to try and be preemptive. So if he does leave, they could say, see, we told you. He didn't really want to be a Yankee. And this stuff has gone on for years. Not just with this organization, but with teams around baseball when you have a guy in this sort of situation. Is this the Yankees trying to get a preemptive strike in because they don't want to pay Aaron Judge $40 million a year at 30 years old for the next 8 years? They don't want to pay him $400 million for 8 years. And that's what it's going to take to get this over the finish line. That's what it's going to take in order to get Aaron Judge in. It's going to take a $400 million deal. And you're literally giving it to a guy at the peak of his career. It's not going to get better than it was this year. No matter what you think of Aaron Judge, it's not going to get any better than it's been for him this season. And you're talking about drastically altering the landscape of that team if he decides to go somewhere else. I cannot get it out of my head. I see him winding up in San Francisco if he's not with the Yankees next year. He's a West Coast kid. He's a Bay Area kid. And I don't know why, but I can see the Giants pouring everything, emptying everything out of their coffers to get him there next year. But could that involve also having to get a different manager? I mean, I think that starts to play into it as well. Does Aaron Judge want to play for Gabe Kapler? And if the difference is Aaron Judge saying, yeah, you know what, I'll come, but this isn't who I have in mind for as a manager. Do the Giants pull the plug on Gabe Kapler, which they may do anyway, whether Judge winds up there or not, but could that play a role in Judge winding up in San Francisco with the Giants if he and the Yankees can't come to terms? It's a lot of money for a 30-year-old having his career year. But it happens all the time in baseball. We're back with Kevin Ioli from Yahoo Sports talking Golovkin and Canelo next on the Cash In on Sports Map Radio. Thanks, Austin. Sorry about that, man. Just nothing I can do.
Funny.
Just a terrible feeling, though. All right, let me get... let's see. here. Personal hotspot.
Are you using a personal hotspot?
What'd you say?
Are you using a personal hotspot?
No. I was skipping past the personal hotspot. Would you like to unpair? Yes. Device, forget it. All right. Let's make it happen. Oh, God. Never mind. I know where he is. I know where it is. Hold on.
Just do a phone call.
No, I got it.
Hello.
Third time's the charm. Now I hear you. Do you hear me?
I'm having difficulty hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Really? Barely. Can you raise it up a little bit? Because I mean, it's really.
Yeah, I've got it cranked up on my end
so
here.
Sorry, I'm not hearing you at all.
You're not hearing me now?
Hang on. Let me take my hearing aids out. Hang on 1 second.
Yep.
You didn't want to do it. Can you say something now? Let's try that.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Excellent. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Bothering you?
I hear you fine.
Okay, good.
All right. There we go. We welcome you back. Sports Map Radio, the Sports Map Radio app. I am Jason Page. All right, continuing on this Friday night, bringing Kevin Iole from Yahoo Sports, does a great job on all things the fighting world, and of course the boxing world, buzzing about the big fight this weekend, Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin, the fight that, you know, the next fight in this saga, I guess that you could say, that just took forever to happen. Try and give me a sense for the buzz out there. I know they had the weigh-in. Talk to me a little bit about what you saw today.
Well, you know, I wrote a column yesterday actually saying there wasn't much buzz for the fight, which is really too bad because of, you know, what a big fight it is. I mean, I think it's a spectacular fight between two of the best fighters in the world. And they had two amazing fights that were both really close fights. And I don't understand the, you know, seeming lack of interest in the fight. But, you know, from the people that are here at the MGM is rocking. It's just kind of outside the walls of the MGM that you don't see a lot of people going crazy for the fight. So I hope that tomorrow, you know, it picks up because, as I say, I think it's a great fight, but I just don't see that right now.
Was it the time off in between? I mean, could it be that? Could it just be as simple as that people have moved on?
I think there's a little bit to that. I think part of it is, people feel like they know who the winner is. Canelo won both fights. I think the other thing a little bit is Canelo's coming off a loss himself, right? So, I think some people are like, it's not that big of a fight, right? So I disagree with that. I think it's a huge fight for boxing. I think it's a really important fight for both guys in their careers, and especially for Triple G with his legacy. I mean, I think you think about it, if Triple G had won the 2 fights against Canelo, which a lot of people felt he won, he'd be 44-0 right now, and we'd be talking about him as one of the great middleweights of all time. Now he loses those fights or gets a draw and a loss, and now all of a sudden the perception of him is a little bit different. But I think it's important for him especially to get a victory tomorrow to kind of help his legacy.
Talking with Kevin Iole, does a great job, Yahoo Sports, on the Fight Game. Golovkin comes in a 4-1 underdog. He was the betting favorite ahead of the first 2 fights. Talk to me just in terms of where these guys are in their careers and in their physical being and sort of where they are at this stage in the game that sort of makes the odds flip that way.
I think the difference in the fight is the fact that Canelo has been very active since the last fight. And Golovkin has fought, I think, 4 times, and against lower-level competition, right? So, he was waiting for a big fight like this, and he had his mandatory against Zarameta. He fought a guy, kind of a stay-busy fight against Steve Rolls. Did not have a lot of really big fights. Whereas Canelo, went up to 175. He beat Sergey Kovalev. He goes and unifies the super middleweight championship. And even the last time out, he tried to fight Dimitri Bivol and win a light heavyweight belt there. Lost that one, but he's been fighting really elite competition at 2 weight classes. And so Canelo, I think, still in his prime. When you look at Gennady, I think he's a freak of nature athlete. And even though he's 40 years old and he's probably not as quick as he was not that long ago, he's still a great boxer. He's still very fit. I mean, you look at him, and if you tell me you think he's 40 years old, I would have to say you're a liar because, this guy looks phenomenal. And I think he's going to put up a good fight. I think it's going to be a really fun show tomorrow night.
Talking with Kevin Iole, Yahoo Sports, getting some thoughts with him on the Canelo Alvarez-Gennady Golovkin fight. What did you make as a guy that obviously is one of the best in covering the sport? What did you make of the comments from Canelo Alvarez that when he says in his prime, Floyd Mayweather Jr. could never have beaten him?
I would disagree with that. I mean, I think that, it would have been a better fight than what they had in 2013. There's no question. Canelo was, 22 years old, I think, at that time. And Mayweather was absolutely in his prime at that point. And so, it wasn't a surprise how that fight turned out. I think if they were both in their primes, it would be a lot more competitive fight. And they may not even fight because Canelo in his prime is significantly bigger than Floyd was in his prime. Floyd was really a 147-pounder for most of that, second half of his career. Not a big dude. So, but hey, you have to like Canelo's confidence in himself and belief. That's what you want out of athletes, is to feel like they can beat anybody. And that's what makes guys great, when they feel like they can, look at anybody out there. He still thinks he can beat Alexander Usyk. A lot of us laugh at him, but he believes that that's true.
Neither of these guys have been down or stopped in their professional careers. Neither have been knocked down, knocked out.
Neither one has ever been knocked down.
Yeah. Do you think that changes? Do you think that could change in this fight?
I don't, because I think they both have great chins, and I think they fought each other 24 rounds. They know how the other guy fights, right? Now, obviously, there's a new trainer for Golovkin, Jonathan Banks, replacing Abel Sanchez. There might be some subtle changes, but I think they are who they are as fighters, and I think you're going to see very similar style fight. So I would be surprised if there is a knockdown or a knockout.
Before I let you go, I wanted to get into it with you for a moment. In the midst of this fight and the lead up to this fight this week was the big news about Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, terms being agreed upon for the undisputed welterweight championship, targeting this November 19th fight date in Las Vegas. What seems to be the conversation around Vegas, even with this fight going on now, about that fight?
I think people are really excited about that fight. That's a fight two undefeated welterweight champions, guys in their primes. Both guys are in the top 5 pound for pound in the world, and I think that's a fight that people are really excited to see. And I think that's what I'm hearing the reaction. Thank God it's finally happened, so we didn't have to wait quite as long as we did for Mayweather Pacquiao.
With that said, is there anything that could potentially hang this thing up and keep it from happening? I know there's a lot of different side deals in place, how a rematch would take place, how the split from that happens. Is there something that could derail this ultimately?
Well, nobody has signed a contract yet, so that until they sign a contract, it's in trouble, right? They've agreed to terms, but they haven't signed contracts. So a lot of times you cringe when you write a story when guys are just agreed and haven't signed, because things can go wrong. Crawford has been fighting for more money and a bigger percentage all along. Apparently he's agreed to, he's happy with what he got because he agreed to terms. But, until it's actually on paper and their signatures are on it, it would not shock me if something happened. I don't think it will. But, in boxing, strange things happen. And
Spence has been through it, man. I mean, he was supposed to have the fight with Pacquiao in August, had the eye injury. We all know about the 2019 car crash. I mean, this guy's been through it.
Yeah, Errol has, had it tough, but, he's healthy now. I think he's back. You saw him in his last fight. He's kind of back to where he is. So I think that bodes well for this fight. Both guys are in their prime. That's what I can't wait for November 19th.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you out there. Kevin, listen, I know it's busy out there in Vegas. I appreciate you getting you on for a few minutes on the eve of this fight. Good stuff, Kevin.
Good one, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well. Kevin Iole joining us here on the show from a very loud Las Vegas. It sounded like he might have been in the middle of the casino floor. He's one of the best, though. He really is. There's a couple of guys that I love talking boxing with whenever there's that big fight atmosphere. He is one. Al Bernstein is another. So really appreciate Kevin us giving a few minutes tonight on the show. Boy, yeah, you forget Spence. I mean, he's gone through a lot to get to this point. To get into a position to finally have this kind of fight. But the devil is in the details. And, I was looking through some of the contract language. And, once you get the lawyers involved, well, anybody who knows, lawyers get involved, it gets complicated. Crawford basically gave in on all the financial terms from pro boxing. Remember PBC? We were at the first PBC, weren't we, Vlad? I think we were there together. Al Heyman, runs PBC, and basically, he was representing Spence and came in and said that, the short end of the revenue split and all this stuff, and then there's a bilateral rematch clause that the loser will have the right to exercise. That if the rematch clause is triggered, the winner will earn the majority of revenue for the return bout. So there's already plans in the works, regardless of what happens in the first fight between these two, the presumed first fight between these two, that there will actually be a second fight, and they're already negotiating what the terms will be for that in the event this first fight is what everybody wants, and you get everything you want on it, and you wind up having a second fight. But Golovkin and Canelo, that's going to be fun to watch this weekend. Not sure where I'm watching it yet, but going to have to find someplace.
Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Brewers just scored in the bottom of the 8th. They're leading 6-5. Mr. Jinx.
No jinx yet. Game ain't over. It's a jinx when the game's over. It's a jinx when the game's over. Yeah, I'll still jump on the Yankees. They win more close games than anybody. 6-5 Brewers on top of the Yankees right now as they play in the bottom of the 8th. Looks like it was on an error, too, if I'm not mistaken.
It was 2 errors in this inning.
Yankees now at plus 400. That Brewers bullpen closing out games has not been good. So hang on to your hats. Still a lot of baseball to be played in that game. But the Yankees, well, they're 9-4 in the month of September, maybe about to be 9-5. Just have to wait and see what happens in the ninth inning. Oh, it's off the money line just disappeared off the board too. Well, innings over. There you go, innings over. All right, so let's go to the ninth and see what happens. See, who do the Yankees got coming up in the ninth? Let me see if we can pull that up here. Yankees in the ninth will have. Oh God, yeah, this game's over. Donaldson, Cabrera, and Kiner Falefa coming up in the ninth inning. Not a jinx. First of all, jinxes don't exist. It's not real. Jinxes is completely fiction.
You're real.
There's no such thing as a jinx. Doesn't exist. It's complete folly. But the Yankees do have Donaldson, Cabrera, and Kiner Falefa coming up in the ninth, so that doesn't bode well for them. And if they get on, then Andujar will come up. Eesh. By the way, that Jose Trevino magic is kind of worn off too. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn right now. Average is sinking like a stone. Oh, the feel-good story. Jose Trevino. Now he's starting to look like Jose Trevino again, and the Yankees have no production out of the catcher spot. Just saying. It was a great story while it lasted, though. All right, stay with us. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the hour. We'll let you know what happens in that Yankees-Brewers game. I told you to hammer the Yankees when it was 5-5 in the fifth inning. They now trail 6-5 going to the ninth. We'll all hang out and sweat it out together, as Chad Erickson likes to say in our rejoins. And we'll get you ready for one more hour of the Cash In as we continue on Sports Map Radio. Where'd the Yankee game go? Huh? What? Why is it blank? That's not a commercial. Now it's a commercial. Okay.
Jesus Christ, this guy. He's like 20 seconds behind.
Well, I'm also dealing with the outage is what made it go so far behind. Okay. Hey, don't tell me what is happening.
I'm not going to tell you.
All right.
You're a
Just
jinx.
let me watch.
You're a jinx.
No such thing as a jinx. Victor Caratini's in the game. Taylor Rogers coming on to close it up. All right, Donaldson, let's go. Yeah, I don't know why he couldn't hear me once we. Well, I know why he couldn't hear me originally. Even though my mic was on, the computer was muted, and when the computer is what feeds to him, so that's why he wasn't hearing me.
Tuesday, I might.
Tuesday, you might what?
Tuesday, I got to figure out something. Might not be around for the show.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not. Listen, if you can get guests, however you do it, I'm not worried. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, I can get through a show without you. It's not. We can figure that out.
I had a prior engagement way locked in before.
All right, come on.
Oh,
spill it.
Tied.
Did he really?
Yep.
Don't tell me I said.
Shut up.
Killing me. Come on. Let me enjoy it.
No.
God damn it, man.
Well,
there it goes. See ya. Yeah, baby. What you got to say now?
I was going to make the loss even worse.
Oh, baby. Josh Donaldson goes yard. Can you get my iPad out, babe? Oh, baby. Josh Donaldson. That is a Yankee moment right there. Woo! Oh, you gotta love it. Never a doubt. Yes, you have come to the right place if you want to win. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Did you hear Vlad before the break? Oh, talk.
You're still a jinx.
Said the Yankees were going to lose when they went down 6-5. And what happens? Josh Donaldson comes up in the top of the ninth. And boom, off the foul pole, a home run. 6-6, and then after he hits the home run, Oswaldo Cabrera, future Yankee great, comes up. It's at 3 walks tonight, and he just knocked a double into the gap, and he can run on top of it. Nobody out, runner on second. I told you take the Yankees on the money line in the 5th inning when it was 5-5, and damn it, we're going to nail this one. We are going to nail it. That's why you listen to this show. Told you to hammer it. And if you did, you'd be feeling good about life right now. You would have been sweating a little. Not going to lie. But nothing comes easy. Nothing comes easy. All right. So Cabrera's on second with nobody out. And Isaiah Kiner Falefa coming up to the plate. See what happens. Yankees will still have to close it out in the bottom half of the ninth, even if they do get a lead, which they still got to do. You got to have Kiner Falefa bunt here, don't you? Got to have him bunting.
Yeah, no outs. You better learn how to bunt.
Got to bunt. Well, and that's somebody that should. I mean, he's a small ball kind of player. He would make a lot of sense. So you got to see him bunting. We'll see what happens. We'll let you know when we start the next hour of the program. Who knows? The game might be over by then. And we'll be celebrating a Yankee win together.
It won't.
Be celebrating together. Got another hour of the cash in to play with. What's going on with Tom Brady? Did you see him in that press conference today? Oh, my goodness. We'll come back and talk about it. I'm Jason Page. It's the Cash In on Sports Map Radio. Oh, perfect bunt. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You don't get this runner in, I'm going to be very unhappy.
You must have been very unhappy over the past couple of weeks. A lot of times they don't.
9-4 the last couple of weeks. I'm definitely not unhappy.
I'm down with that.
9-4. You just said last couple of weeks. 9-4 in the last couple of weeks. I'd be very happy with that. 9 out of every 13 games.
There was a game. There was
a good percentage.
They could have won, and they left 7 runners.
9-4
in scoring position.
Last couple of weeks, I'm very happy.
Oh, please.
Andujar. I would be happy if it was Andujar. I'm bringing your volume down because you're going to spoil it for me. Come on, Andujar. Wow, they got 2 red light guys in the outfield. Come on, Andujar. Let's go. Swinging like he needs a home run. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Just get the ball into the outfield. Fly ball. Cabrera's going to score. Let's go. Clay Holmes warming up. I almost feel like I have a sum of money on this game. That's how much I'm into it right now. Come on, Miguel. Josh Donaldson. What a moment in the annals of Yankee history. Right there with some of the great Yankees regular season home runs. I'm done with this game. Come on, Andujar. He called that a strike? That hasn't been a strike all night. Oh, that's terrible. That is so bad. How do you call that a strike? That is absolutely awful.
Look how outside he was.
It's a terrible call. Oh, my God. I just saw the replay. Oh, my God. This is why we need an automated strike zone.
Yeah. Oh, he's in. If you don't score a run, this is why you don't score a run. Now it's 2 outs.
Come up with a big 2-out hit. That's all.
Oh, you're lucky if we get a wild pitch.
Life deals you lemons. Got to make lemonade.
Oh, look at this guy.
Come on. My mama always said, let's go.
Yeah, we're going to the bottom of the ninth.
Come on, Higgy. Let's go, baby. Jesus Christmas. It's terrible. It's absolutely awful. Took the bat out of Andujar's hand. It's awful. Absolutely disgraceful. Terrible. It's terrible. Do. Home run. Let's see here. Well, if it gets to the 10th, which it better, get Hicks and then Judge. Hicks has 2 hits tonight. Let's go, Clay Holmes. What up, Holmes? All right, stand by. No spoilers, Vlad. I mean it. Final hour of a Friday edition of the show. Wow, Aaron Boone got tossed. There were some fireworks after we wrapped up the last hour. Yankees down 6-5, top of the ninth. Josh Donaldson leading off the inning, and this happened.
High drive, left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It is gone. A home run to tie the game at 6.
Woo, baby. That's right. Michael K. the call. Had it on the Yes Network. Yankees get a game-tying home run from Josh Donaldson. Then Oswaldo Cabrera doubles, and you think the Yankees are going to win this game, take a lead at least in the top of the ninth. And what happens? They can't get the runner in from third with less than 2 outs. It's been a bugaboo. For a number of years with this team, it's been a bugaboo. So 6-6 as they go to the bottom of the ninth inning. And it looks like the Brewers got a leadoff double off of Clay Holmes in the bottom of the ninth. Come on, man. I was feeling good about life for about 4 minutes. Told you I'll take the Yankees on the money line and the live betting after the 5th inning. Looked like we were down and out. Then we come back, tie it at 6, and now we just may lose in heartbreak in the bottom of the ninth. Them's the breaks sometimes. They call them bad beats for a reason. This would be a bad beat. Especially when strike 3 on Miguel Andujar was about 8 inches off the plate. I don't want to say a foot outside, but it was well off the plate. It's the way it goes. Well, that's baseball, Susan. We'll let you know what happens when we come back. See if the Brewers can scratch across a run and get a much-needed win for them. And we'll also get into Tom Brady's physical appearance. I'll explain why when we come back on the Cash In on Sports Map Radio. Oh, God. Yankees just trying to break your heart. Just trying to break your heart. Don't go breaking my heart. I wouldn't if I tried. Colton Wong. I actually have a patch of his, a jersey patch. Let's go, Clay Holmes. Bear down, baby. Bear down. Oh, Andrew McCutchen's on deck. That's bad news. That is bad news. Come on, Clay. Let's go. Oh, how are you not throwing a third on that? The play's right in front of you. How do you not throw to third? Oh, he had a play there. Kiner Falefa had a play there. Oh, now you got to bring the infield in. Come on, man. Oh, now they're doing this crazy outfield thing. Well, you won't be able to do this next year. Yeah, how many ways could this go wrong? Let me count the ways. If Clay Holmes doesn't get a strikeout here, this game's over. I have no faith in this alignment. Oh, God. Yeah, where is that pitch? Where is that pitch? Exactly. Oh, my God. Umpire's just stealing the game away. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Oh, my God. Is this even happening? I mean, this is ridiculous. Boy, a wild finish in Milwaukee with the Yankees and the Brewers right now. I mean, just at this point, I'd walk them. So Yankees and Brewers tied at 6 in probably the game of the night in Major League Baseball. Yankees were down by a score of 6-5 going into the top of the ninth inning. They tie it with a Josh Donaldson home run. Some terrible home plate umpiring leads to Miguel Andujar being called out on strikes. This umpire, who's had the tightest strike zone all night, decides to open it up in the biggest spot in the game. Yankees with a runner on third and 1 out. Andujar gets called out on a third strike that's 8 inches off the plate. And now the Brewers trying to win it in the bottom of the ninth. They've got a runner on third and 1 out and Andrew McCutchen at the plate. What has been a wild baseball game. So McCutchen walks. It's first and third. We'll keep you posted on what's going on in this ninth inning. And felt good. Told you to hammer the Yankees on the money line in the live betting when it was 5-5 in the fifth inning. Now we'll have to sweat it out here in the ninth and see if the Yankees can wriggle their way out of this jam with their closer Clay Holmes on the mound. Yankees about to get Aroldis Chapman back, by the way, too. Luis Severino's getting ready to come back soon. Yankees about to get a few different arms back. Maybe Zach Britton by the end of the year. I mean, look, and at the end of the day, the Yankees are winning the division, so that's not, I don't think anybody has any doubt about that at this point. There's a lot of attrition within the American League East and teams beating each other up. The Rays and the Blue Jays just beat each other up for a couple of days. So, you know, that's not the issue. Just you want to win these close games. And the Brewers, this is a huge game for them as they try to scratch and claw their way back into the wild card race. I think they're a game back or 2 games back in the wild card race, so they need every win they can get. It's a huge game for them at home tonight against the Yankees. So, an 0-2 count to the number 7 hitter, Peterson. We'll see what happens there. I want to get into Tom Brady in this hour. It's, it's really funny because the last couple of times we've seen Brady on TV, my husband and I have both looked at each other and said, his face doesn't look right. And I don't mean that in a derogatory manner as if he's not an attractive guy. He's a handsome man. Not talking about that at all. What I'm referencing is his face is gaunt. He actually, I'm not saying this with any degree of glee or trying to suggest something. He just doesn't look well. And I have no idea what to account for it, but he went from, he's a guy that's looked the same his entire career. He's a guy that's always looked a certain way. And I get, your looks change, your appearance changes as you get older. I don't look the same at, 44 going on 45 next week as I did when I was, 33 or 23 or anything like that. But when you look at Tom Brady right now, he doesn't look like Tom Brady. And I have nothing to account for it other than the fact that he's older. He seemed healthy. Watched him play the game the other night. He was making all the plays, making all the throws. It certainly didn't seem like there was anything physically wrong with the guy. But when you looked at him on camera, he just doesn't look like the same guy. And interestingly enough, in the last couple of days, there's been all this conversation about his health, talking about being banged up. I said before the season started, and Vlad laughed at me, and I'm sure other people have laughed at me. It wouldn't be the first time people have laughed at me. I said it would not shock me if Tom Brady didn't make it through the season. And not because necessarily the physical side of it, but because of the emotional and what was going on with him and his wife. And he came out today and said something that I thought was kind of interesting. He said, look, it's kind of natural for people to be curious about my private life. The only thing is, his private life has remained private for so many years. And this time around, it's not staying private. Things are not being kept in-house. And that means somebody, whether it's him or whether it's Gisele, somebody wants the public to know what's going on. Somebody wants the media to know what's going on. And talk of marital strife between the two. By the way, 2 outs now, first and third, in that bottom of the ninth for the Brewers as they try to get out in front of the Yankees. Well, not get out in front. Try to get a run and win the game. Vincent Caratini is up right now. You'd think that's a guy Clay Holmes could get out. See if he can. But Gisele Bündchen, is back in the news again. Page 6 reporting on Friday, citing a witness that Bündchen was spotted Wednesday crying on her cell phone in New York City amid the ongoing drama between the Brady marriage participants. A separate source reportedly speculating she might have been talking to Brady, while a third source reportedly added Bündchen was upset over the coverage of her Elle magazine interview. Gisele wanted the story to be about her career and her environmental work, the third source told Page 6, but the focus from the media was on her quotes about Tom. She expressed concerns in the Elle interview about Brady still playing football at age 45, furthering the rumors that are out there right now. The rumors about the two going through a rough patch in their marriage. She added, "I've done my part as it relates to Brady's NFL career and raising their children." CNN was on the story third. Like CNN doesn't have anything better to do. That they're covering the Tom Brady marital strife. CNN on Thursday cited a source that Brady and Bündchen are living separately. Never a good sign. Previous reports indicated Bündchen is upset about Brady's decision to unretire this past offseason. We all know that already. This is Tom Brady's last year, but can she wait? I shouldn't say this is probably his last season, because if we've learned anything by now, it's to not doubt, the idea of whether Tom Brady's going to continue playing or whether he's going to retire. We all thought he'd retire after last season, and now he's decided to come back for another. I still think I will hang on this one. I still think there's a chance that Brady doesn't make it through the season. I would now, with that said, I would not bet money on it. I would not put anybody's money on it. I wouldn't put my money on it. If there was a bet out there, I would not bet that Tom Brady's going to hang it up before the season ends. I think it would take a catastrophic sort of situation in his marriage for him to walk away from the game. But could it be a combination of the physical wear and tear? He talked about how banged up he was just after week 1. And it ain't going to get easier as the season goes along. I mean, nobody feels better in week 17 than they did after week 1. So you have to wonder if this is something where, the combination of the wear and tear on his body and the wear and tear on his marriage. And by the way, I want to make this clear. I have no hopes of any of this happening. Just watching it from afar. I don't have any inside information. It's just observational, opinions based on observations and what you're seeing between husband and wife in this situation. And what Brady's trying to go through at the age of 45 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. I also, it's kind of interesting. I heard Russell Wilson talking the other night about wanting to play for 20 years in the league. And I wonder how many of these guys like Aaron Rodgers, like Russell Wilson, how much these guys are talking about their, who want to play late, into their 40s. I wonder how much these guys are watching the Brady situation as sort of a sneak peek of what it could potentially be like for them. So all these guys think they're going to be able to play forever, but you wonder if they actually will. Well, I have a sad update to provide. It's over in Milwaukee. Brewers walk it off against the Yankees. Bases loaded, 2 outs. They get a base hit from Caratini. Grounder up the middle. Game over. Brewers able to get up off the mat after the Yankees tied it in the top of the ninth. They get one in the bottom of the ninth. Brewers beat the Yankees 7-6. So, unfortunately, if you took the Yankees in any way, shape, or form in this game on the money line, whether before the game, whether it was during the game, as I had suggested you should, didn't go so well. But we live to fight another day. Later this hour, we'll have Paige's picks. Went 2-2 in those last week. We'll try and do better this week. Come up with 4 games that we like, and we'll slide those your way. Yankees fall to the Brewers 7-6. Big win for Milwaukee. As I said, they need every win they can get to try and get into the postseason. Yankees lose it. Clay Holmes takes the loss. We're back with more on the Cash In. I'm Jason Page at Sports Map Radio. Boom, 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 boom. Chung, can you turn on something else? Saints. All right, continuing with the show, 26 minutes past the hour. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll give you Paige's picks. 4 games from the National Football League that I would advise you to wager on Sunday. Again, if you do so, you do it at your own risk. We don't tell you how much to bet or anything like that. I just tell you the games I like, and then you decide what you want to do. Last week we went 2-2, so we would have lost the juice, but that's a pretty harmless week for week 1 in the NFL, where really anything can happen. I mean, who would have had the Giants winning on the field in Tennessee against the Titans? Well, our buddy Scott Seidenberg had them covering, so I guess there is that. And that was one of the games I got wrong last week. The other one was Dallas and Tampa Bay. So those are my 2 losses last week. But we got 4 games coming up for you. Been a good show. Thanks to Kevin Ioli for joining us in the last hour. Boxing writer, fighting writer, in fact, for Yahoo Sports, who joined us. Talked a bit about the injuries around the NFL, and some of that will certainly play a role in how we call our games for Page's picks. We've wondered for years, and now he is too. What am I talking about? Dan Marino is talking about something that we've all probably talked about in barroom conversations, newsrooms and sports radio, where these are the sorts of things you talk about guys' careers, what could have been. There's been a lot of great players that have never won championships in various sports. Ted Williams, most notably with the Boston Red Sox. I mean, there were some great players. Patrick Ewing with the Knicks, Charles Barkley, Dominique Wilkins. I mean, there's been some great players in this game to never win championships in all sports. But one, for a very long time that was always discussed was Dan Marino. Arguably the best player in the history of the NFL to never win a Super Bowl. I think we can, most of us can agree on that. I mean, is there somebody else that we'd say is better than him that didn't win a Super Bowl? I'm saying that's retired.
Nah, it's Dan.
Huh? What'd you say, Vlad? Vlad was there,
It's
and then
Marino.
Yeah, I think it has to be Marino. Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Eric Dickerson, guys that you'd probably put on that list. Think about guys like that. But arguably the best player to never win a Lombardi trophy was Dan Marino. Spent all 17 of his seasons in Miami. But what if he didn't? Went 8-10 in his postseason career. Got blown out in the Super Bowl against the 49ers in 1985. But he was loyal and he stayed there his entire career. What if he hadn't? On USA Today's Sports Seriously podcast, Marino said, yes, I definitely thought about it, to be honest with you, in terms of what if he had gone somewhere else. I played 17 years for the Dolphins, and they were kind of going in a new direction with a new coach, and I had offers to go play other places, and I really thought about it. And maybe had a chance to win a championship like Matthew Stafford has done. Marino said, and this is kind of interesting, because now you got names attached to it. Marino said the Vikings and Steelers were both interested in him later in his career. But he made the decision to stay in Miami, as many Miami sports fans and Florida sports fans know. And he retired prior to the 2000 campaign. Says he doesn't have any regrets, though. Still works for the franchise. Said, I thought about it for a long time. It just didn't feel right. I just decided I'll just be a Dolphin for life, and it's worked out great. But I will tell you that I did think about it. I have a good friend who I bowl with. He actually runs the pro shop. He actually runs a bowling pro shop here in Palm Springs, and he's one of the biggest Dan Marino fans I know. Has all of his memorabilia. Has everything autographed. Football. I've actually been helping him sell his Dan Marino memorabilia. So, hey, Vlad, you're in Miami. If you know anybody that wants or is looking for Dan Marino stuff, I've got tons of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in Miami.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you know anybody that wants any, I've got somebody who is literally unloading tons of it. So just let me know.
I know some people.
Yeah,
Let
just
me
know.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk. We'll talk
Yeah,
over here.
I mean, I've got autographed jerseys, footballs. As a matter of fact, we just got rid of a numbered autographed Marino Don Shula autographed photo. And obviously there ain't going to be any more of those. So, yeah, we got tons of, not just, I mean, tons of Dolphin stuff, but tons of Marino stuff. So if you know somebody,
Well, if it's free, it's for everybody.
it ain't going to be
They
free.
love it.
I can promise you that. Not going to be free.
Hey, can I give a rest in peace?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Let's give
Nothing.
a
It's
rest in
like
peace
it's like Casey Kasem in the top 40 countdown. I'm gonna get
Well, it's not like Casey
Am I
Kasem
getting
in
a
the
death
top 40.
Am I getting a death
No,
dedication here?
No, it's not. No, look. A beautiful cat passed away, named Princess. Good friend of the family, So just rest in peace and cat for Princess. And you know what? Take any animal that's a feline or tiger or kitten tomorrow in college football or in the NFL.
So wait a second. This was literally a cat. You're telling me?
Yes, a cat. Yes.
Okay, this
Princess.
was a cat.
Yes.
Because when you said like a cool cat, I thought you meant a person. Like, hey, a cool cat.
Princess was a cool cat. She was cool.
Yeah, I just thought it was a person when you said Princess is a cool cat. You literally meant it was a cat.
I'm not giving you 1970s lingo. Oh yeah, he's a cool cat. He's a sly brother. No, I'm talking about she was a cool cat.
Austin asked an interesting question. Go ahead, Austin.
I was just going to say, do Bearcats count in that little
Yes. We're gonna count Bearcats as well. So if you got Cincinnati, you can. But yeah, they beats Princess.
Does that mean the Carolina Panthers this weekend too? Any other cats?
In honor of Princess,
Lions or cats? Lions are just big cats.
Any team that's a feline, take them. That is all.
I wonder, is that, it's funny thinking about that Marino thing, though. I mean, Ewing left at the end of his career. I actually am wrong. Ewing left the Knicks. So mentioning Ewing as one of those guys actually isn't fair. Well, I mean, I guess in the case of Marino, he's one of those rare ones that stayed somewhere his whole career as a star, didn't bolt somewhere. But, I'm just saying great players to never win titles. You think of Ewing. Just trying to think if any others come to mind. And look, I'd have to go back and look at what the Vikings and Steelers looked like in the late 90s. Be curious to see, what kind of upgrade would Dan Marino have been at that stage of his career over some of those teams. I wonder when he was a free agent and decided to re-sign with them. I mean, like I said, it'd take a ton of work that, quite frankly, I don't know once we finish this show tonight if I'm going to care to do. But it's always interesting when you get an athlete to go off script. And, some of these guys have been saying the same things for so long. It's rare that all this time later, it's 22 years since the guy retired, that you hear an athlete say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I should have probably gone somewhere else, or I thought about going somewhere else. It's rare that you get that kind of admission that long later, because usually if you're just going to say all the right things, you just say it forever. But Marino kind of opened up a little bit. All right, we got Paige's picks still to come as we finish out the hour. I wanted to get to Arch Manning. This story that came out today. If you're one of the people that thinks, money in college sports is just too pervasive a thing and money isn't going to the right places, you may want to plug your ears for the story I'm about to do. And we'll get into Paige's picks as well. Stick around. Jason Paige. It's the Cash In on Sports Map Radio. Hey, Austin, do you still have the Paige's picks thing from last week? Can you do that again? Thank you. I appreciate it. I swear to God, Vlad, when you said Princess Cool Cat, I was like, wow, a person died. Who was it, your cat? Vlad?
That was my homegirl's cat.
Oh, okay. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Boy, I'd kill to be a fly on the wall in that Yankees press conference with Aaron Boone after the game. Dude's probably blowing a gasket. Hey, do we have the Bob Uecker call? Let me see if I can find that. Get up, go.
2 strikes. And he swings the line drive up the middle.
Brian Anderson.
In the score is Renfroe. And the Brewers walk off the Yankees. Oh, Garrett Mitchell.
That was Garrett Mitchell. Somebody tweeted, Ump definitely took Brewers money line. I think that game was on Apple TV. No, it's Bally Sportsnet. Never mind. Oh, it was the rookie Cal Mitchell. Come back. Getting set to put the wraps on this baby. Second week of the Cash In on Sports Map Radio. Sports Map Radio app. Got a final thought you want to get in? Feel free. 800-224-2004. 800-224-2004. I'll tell you what, if you got a good pick for a game on Sunday, we'll let you get it in before the under the wire, so to speak. You could tweet it at me as well at the back page. I'll check the tweets before we get off the air tonight. On Twitter at the back page. And if you're not following me there on Twitter at the back page, I will say it again. I'll say it again. You want to follow me there because if you follow me and send me a message in my mentions there, you are automatically entered to win our prize giveaways on Wednesday. Giving away a couple of boxes of cards the first couple of weeks. All you got to do, go to Twitter, at the back page is my handle, and you follow me. Send me a note. You're entered to win. Simple as that. I said the Brewers beat the Yankees. Here's what it sounded like.
And he swings the line drive up the middle. A base hit. In the score is Renfroe. And the Brewers walk off the Yankees. Oh, Garrett Mitchell delivers in the clutch.
That's the rookie Garrett Mitchell, who was able to come up with that big base hit. Almost took the head off of Clay Holmes as he knocked it up the middle. And Brian Anderson's voice cracking like a 13-year-old boy. It's great. Oh, man. Miss the days of doing baseball play-by-play. It's fun stuff. So, again, the Brewers beat the Yankees tonight 7-6, keeping their wild card hopes, obviously, very much alive. Page's picks coming up here in just a couple of minutes. College football story. I got to get this in before we go. And I apologize. I didn't talk a lot of college football tonight. Don't worry. We'll have a full recap of what's going on Monday. But this story about the University of Texas and how much money they spent to try and reel in the big fish, Arch Manning, big 5-star recruit in the 2023 class. And as you know, he already committed back in June. But they spent months and unofficial visits around the country. He was basically treated like royalty around. I mean, you want to talk about a kid with pressure. I mean, this kid's in high school right now. And you think about the pressure on him before he's even entered the halls for a freshman year in college. I mean, think about that for a second. Imagine being 17 or 16. I mean, I was 17 when I graduated high school. So you could be 16, 17 right now. And knowing how much has been invested in you already. We're not even talking about the NFL. Just how much has been invested in him. How much, you're wondering? Texas spent nearly $280,000 on the weekend they hosted Manning and other recruits for an official visit back in June, according to The Athletic. 9 recruits and their parents, including Manning, a 3-day weekend in June to try and persuade him to go to their school. Oh, it gets better. Texas spent more than $21,000 on airfare and transportation alone during the stay. And this is all from, open record requests. You can get this information. The recruits stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel in Austin. No, they couldn't stay at the Holiday Inn. No, that ain't good enough for Arch Manning and family. And were each greeted with custom cakes. Can you believe this? Custom cakes and an array of personalized refreshments when they arrived. Of course, non-alcoholic, I'm sure. The school spent $46,696 on 34 rooms booked for the athletes, their families, and some of the program's staff. Unbelievable. Nothing wrong with big-time college athletics, though, right? I mean, now we could officially say it. We've always said it for years about college sports, right? That why the NFL didn't need a minor league system and why these other pro leagues in the spring have failed. And it's simple. College football, we always said, was the minor league system for the NFL. And very much the way that minor league baseball, has guys that pan out and guys that don't pan out. It's the same in college football, just to a larger scale because of how many Division I FCS programs there are out there. But now with all the money that is so much more openly pervasive and NIL, the transfer portal, all these different ways, I mean, college football is the minor leagues for the National Football League. And now it's just, there's no hiding it. To end the first day of their visit, the dinner arrangement for the recruits and their families totaled a dinner arrangement for these people. $29,129.40. Must have been a hell of a dinner, huh? Maybe Ruth Chris, Morton's, the expensive wine that's down in the cellar. What do you think? Bet they had a dinner mint under their pillow, too. The after-dinner parent social produced a pool bar tab of $11,880, allowed by purchase via donation. Then there was the included day 2 breakfast at the stadium for $10,000, facility and campus tour, trip to Top Golf for almost 10 grand, dinner at Three Forks, which cost almost $37,000, an after dinner soiree, $31,000, an hour-long cruise. I'm sorry, I can't do any more of this. And this isn't, look, it's not just Texas that's doing this stuff. Georgia did it. And all these public schools have to make all of these things public because, they're state funded. And I'm not necessarily saying it's taxpayer dollars going to get these kids to come to their school, but money's coming from somewhere, and it could be going somewhere else that's more important than, well, it is what it is, right? All right, without any further delay, let's get to Paige's picks. Yes, let's do it. Cue the band. Strike it up. I'm ready for week 2. 4 games that you could either take or don't take. We were 2-2 last week. We'll see how we do this week. Again, if you lose the mortgage, it's not my fault. At the same time, if you win, I do expect a healthy compliment, a cut, whatever it may be. Carolina and the Giants. Big Blues home opener after a win on the road in Tennessee. I'm not picking a winner, but I am taking the under. I just don't see a lot of points being scored in this game. I think the Giants are going to try and take the air out of the ball as much as they can this season, control the clock. And you do that with Saquon Barkley. And Baker Mayfield's the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. Need I say more? 43.5 is the number. I love the under in this game. I also think the Giants win, but I wouldn't bet on that. The official pick for Paige's picks is the under 43.5. If you get it right now. The Rams minus 9.5 in Los Angeles to take on the Falcons. And look, I know that, people are kind of open, wide-eyed about the Falcons and the fact that they were very much in that game against the Saints last week, lost it late. But I think that sort of influenced this line a little bit. I thought it'd probably be double digits. It's not. It stayed at 9.5. It stayed below 10. I think the Rams can cover that. That doesn't mean they have to blow them out. Win by 10. It's as good as winning by 21. There's no style points in the NFL like there is in college football, where if you win by 7 and you should have won by 30, you're going to drop in the rankings. Take the Rams minus 9.5 in LA. Game number 2. Seattle and San Francisco to take on the 49ers. So much scrutiny on this game, obviously, because of Trey Lance and all the conversation around him last week in a loss against the Bears. This week in terms of the Jimmy Garoppolo watch, which is apparently in some people's minds already begun. George Kittle is questionable, and I think that puts the under back in play. I don't think even with a healthy George Kittle, I'd feel comfortable with the number of points that are going to be scored in this game. We saw what Geno Smith and Seattle are in their nail-biting win over the Broncos. They were fun to watch in the first half and abysmal offensively in the second half. And that's what you're going to get with Geno Smith. Road game in Santa Clara. 40.5, I think, is the lowest number on the board this week for a total. And I feel comfortable that this game still winds up going under that 40.5. The total is the one we like in this game. 40.5, take the under. That's game number 3. Fourth and final pick. The Packers. This is, I always say I don't like to bet 3 and 4 games, but if we're doing Paige's picks, I'm going to give you 4 that I like. This is the one that I love. It's a toss-up between this game and that under in the Seattle-San Francisco game, which I think that's as close to a lock as you're going to get, too. But if I had a suitcase full of cash sort of lock, it's the Packers minus 9.5. And all you got to do is look at history between these two teams and what Aaron Rodgers does every time he sees the Chicago Bears.
He owns them.
He owns them, Vlad. He owns them. Exactly.
I think the Bears are owned by Aaron Rodgers, not the McCaskey.
Not the McCaskey. Yeah, absolutely. And coming off what happened in week 1 in Minnesota, just look back to last year. Got beaten badly by the Saints in Jacksonville. Yep. Came back the following week.
Struggled a little bit in the first half against the Lions.
Yep.
And then busted the Lions' ass in the second half.
And that's what I think is going to happen in this game. I think Chicago will keep it close early. Packers run away late. No way Justin Fields and that offense could keep up with the Packers when they get going, and they will get going. Take the Packers minus 9.5. So our 4 picks, the Giants and Panthers under 43.5. The Rams minus 9.5.
Love it.
Seattle and San Francisco take the under 40.5.
Love it.
And the Packers minus 9.5.
I love it.
I even got the endorsement of Vlad. What can possibly go wrong?
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Because I actually like all your picks.
See? What can go wrong? These are doubly.
They're not going to hit.
They're double endorsed. Packers minus 9.5, the final pick. All right, we'll come back, wrap up this edition of the Cash In. I'm Jason Page at Sports Map Radio.
I'm surprised you didn't take the Steelers.
Thanks, Austin. Good job with that. No, we had the NFL music underneath.
I'm surprised you didn't take the Steelers.
Yeah, I didn't feel great about that game.
I love the under in that game. I think neither quarterback's going to be sitting upright for them to be putting points. Standing upright, not sitting. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But you got the drift.
Yeah, that's another potential under.
Dude, I'm sorry, Clay. He's got to stop being a closer, man. He hasn't been the same since the All-Star.
No, he hasn't. And they just keep waiting.
And I thought slowly they were trying to get Chapman to become. He was slowly moving, try to get him.
And then he stepped backwards.
And then he got hurt. No, he got hurt.
Yeah.
He got hurt. Not even hurt. He got the COVID.
He did the tattoo. It was the tattoo.
Got him sick.
Stupid. Yeah. Get a tattoo in the season.
Whatever.
There was some home run thievery in the Met game tonight.
Oh, what about the home run thievery in the St. Louis? He stole $6.99 from him.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, in the bottom of the 7th. The inning prior, he hit the $6.98, and he ended the 7th on guy went to the wall and brought the ball back in.
Hold on, is this it? Oh, here it is. I'm seeing it right now. Oh no, never mind. There's a ground ball. That's a different play. Yeah, that's a different play. Nolan Arenado. Wow, what a great play. Alexis Ohanian joins SportsCenter from LA. Wow.
Who's he? Isn't that Serena's husband?
Yeah, Serena's husband.
So what does he do?
He's Serena's husband.
Listen. Okay, if I say that's Jay-Z, you're not gonna say, "Oh, that's Beyonce's." You know.
Well, no, he used to. What my husband told me actually, he used to own Reddit.
Yeah, he's
hold on,
a
what was it?
billionaire. He's like ridiculously rich.
Hold on, Vlad. What'd you say, babe? He co-founded Reddit.
Yo, he's a Billy.
Yeah. Yep.
So, question is, all right, let me ask you this. Because this is a great question.
Yeah.
Because this also involves Tom Brady and Giselle. Maybe you might ask this question on Monday. Do you want to be richer than your spouse, or do you want to be more famous than your spouse?
That's a great question. Yeah, save that. Write that down. I
I
would
don't need
like
it
to
right
talk
now.
about that.
I just thought of it. It's there.
All right. Hold on. We're going to finish the show. See, I wanted Triple H the game tonight. I was going to request that of Austin, and I forgot. I wanted time to play the game. I wanted a little bit of that. I forgot.
Motorhead.
I forgot. I wanted a little Motorhead. Yeah.
Pause.
I wanted a little Lemony. Didn't work out, though. I forgot. Anyway, getting set to wrap up the show. Great week of shows. Drew Pearson was on the program this week. Got to talk to him a little bit. The Cowboys Hall of Fame wide receiver, the original 88. That was fun. Got to talk to Patrick McEnroe about the amazing career of one Roger Federer. We were just laughing because Serena's husband, Alex Ohanian, I think is how you say his name. He's actually on Sports Center tonight, which is kind of weird. It's like, I mean, I get that you're Serena's husband, but why are you appearing on Sports Center? I'm almost kind of curious to see what he has to say now. Because of course she made news this week by sort of, titillating everybody with this idea of potentially coming back to play again. And we asked Patrick McEnroe on the show this week, does he think Serena will play in another major, another Grand Slam? And he first of all gave the caveat that he does not have any inside information, but he said based on everything he's observed, he thinks she will play in another major. That the U.S. Open was not going to be the last major she played in. And if I had to guess, I think she would play Wimbledon, and I think she'd actually do some tuning up for it and play it because that means as much to her than anything. And going out in the first round last year was not what she wanted. So I got a hunch she's going to play Wimbledon next year.
Yeah, and it's easier for her body.
Yes, absolutely is. It's going to put the wraps on this Friday night show. Want you all to have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Gamble responsibly. Do your homework. Don't listen to me. Good job, Vlad. Good job, Austin. We'll catch you all back here next week for another week of the Cash In on Sports Map Radio. I'm Jason Page. We'll see you. Austin. We made it. Looks like we made it. Can you do me a favor and send me Page's picks for the podcast? Let's see. I didn't give you any direction on the podcast tonight.
Aioli?
Yeah, definitely Aioli. Definitely Page's picks. Give me 1 second here. Aioli, Page's picks.
Either Sarver or your take on Lance.
Yeah, you know what? The Trey Lance stuff that I did in the first hour.
Third segment.
No, well, technically it was the third segment. Yeah, the 25 segment. Yeah, let's do that. Thank you, my friend. Have a great night. All right, be well. Bye-bye.
All right.
I have my marching orders from you. Now that it's the weekend, I have no excuse. It'll get done. Definitely on the Iowa stuff. Was that Tuesday show? Monday show. It was Monday show.
That was Monday's show when I came back.
Okay.
So,
I have that.
That's the third hour. It's the third hour.
Yep. I got it.
I'm
all right.
trying to get out of a family engagement that I was already trying to get into, but I'll let you know by tomorrow.
Like I said, you said what, next Tuesday?
This Tuesday, the 20th.
Yeah. Okay. That's my birthday too.
That is your birthday.
Yeah.
Huh, funny.
Yeah, but it's the funny part is Chung was like, "Are you going to take your birthday off?" And by the way, to those on the stream, I'm taking off. See ya.